Hello and welcome to the City Show. I'm your host, Dr. Tom Krieger. And this week's show is a mixed bag that includes a new citywide healthy living initiative, an opportunity to showcase your art, and a look at some explosive local history. You'll get that later. To get us started, we have Zach McDaniel back, and the coward that he is, he brought a friend to help him out, Julia Monnin.
I needed some backup, yeah.
Guys, welcome back to the City Show, and you're with the Talbert House. Before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about the mission at Talbert House?
Yeah, absolutely. So Talbert House, really the simplest way to put it is, we want to make Warren County and all the counties we serve the best places to possibly live.
Nice.
So we have 5 key service lines through mental health, housing, substance use, clinical counseling. We specifically work in prevention.
Nice.
And hoping to, make sure that people don't have those problems in the first place.
Well, that's very wise. Now, you have a new billboard that's going to be placed on Bypass 48 soon that kicks off the binge drinking awareness campaign. How do you define binge drinking?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question, which is really critical to the whole thing. So binge drinking traditionally is defined as drinking 4 to 5 drinks in a standard 2-hour sitting. So imagine a single, maybe extended dinner, something like that, when you go out and eat, and having 4 to 5 drinks. Typically, it's 4 for women, 5 for men, but those are just averages based off of average height and weight.
Okay, so I'm okay. I'm a triple pour guy, and that lasts me a little bit longer, so I'm okay.
Well, and that's where you really kind of get into the details a little bit, and that'll be some of our educational, right? So when you say a standard drink, just because you have one glass full of a 5% beer is a little different than a glass filled with straight vodka.
Yeah.
So definitely what is in the drink really matters as well, which for some of our other materials outside of the billboard, we really dive into.
Yeah. So do you find, Julia, as you talk to people about binge drinking, if they try to, make a joke about it, do they probably have a problem? Should I have a concern for myself here? We can laugh off stuff that I think is really touching, and I think with the pandemic, this is probably an area that people really need to be concerned about as far as looking at your habits, because we're still in our mask, we're still at home too much. Has that been a component in your opinion?
We have definitely addressed the COVID pandemic, staying at home and drinking, because that definitely has increased with working from home.
Yeah.
People I've heard the joke of eating your cereal with some kind of alcohol, like a coffee with some kind of alcohol. So that's something we're definitely addressing, because the alcohol has increased, binge drinking has increased since the pandemic, and being able to order your alcohol, getting it delivered, and all of those things have definitely increased that number.
Now, your concern goes beyond just youth, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
100%. And that's the thing, is even though our campaign is definitely specifically talking about adults, the reality is kids pay more attention to what we do than what we say.
Okay.
And over the last year, with alcohol being able to be delivered at home, us seeing a 23% increase in alcohol sales across the country, it's not just that individuals are maybe drinking at home on the job, again, as adults. It's, that quite often over the last year, there were also kids in the household.
Okay.
And what was being role modeled to them.
Yeah.
And was it one drink, or did it get into those 4 or 5 binge drinking statistics?
So what's the trigger for binge drinking? What causes or contributes to binge drinking, in your opinion?
Well, I think there's a variety of different things. We've really looked into it. Obviously, there's stressors, there's anxiety. It can definitely be a coping mechanism. More than anything, though, I think what we're trying to combat with our message, saying 85% of Warren County adults don't binge drink, is it's more of just sometimes a societal pressure to go ahead and drink. We see this with some of the recent news going on in colleges actually around here, and some initiations and those sorts of things happening. But I think there's this perception that at every backyard barbecue, every family event, every I know my family, right? Thanksgivings and Christmas, there's always alcohol involved, which again can be fine. But we also want to educate people and make them aware that even though we think everyone is drinking to get drunk and binge drink, the vast majority of us, 85%, aren't. We're practicing low-risk drinking guidelines. So I think there's definitely some serious aspects out there. One of the big ones that goes unthought about is that societal pressure and that belief that everyone's doing it. And I think that's why we're really pushing this Be One of Us campaign.
Now, low risk drinking versus binge drinking. What is low risk drinking? Is that the safe amounts?
And I'm so happy
Can you explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. So really, we decided to really push the low risk drinking guidelines, which are really well known. When you look them up online, there's some really popular agencies that designed them. And we really decided to focus on those and push them because as we talked to people here in the community, we found that everyone knows the phrase "drink responsibly."
Yeah.
It's plastered everywhere on commercials and gas stations and anywhere where you can buy a beer. It's recommended to drink responsibly, but they really don't go into and try to define what that means. It's kind of purposely vague.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is expand on that a little bit and give it some action steps. Right? We would never accept looking at a Tylenol bottle and it just says "take responsibly."
Yeah.
We'd expect some action steps there and guidelines. So what we want to do is push low-risk drinking, which generally is defined as 1 drink per hour, so up to 1 drink per hour, up to 2 drinks per day if you're going to be drinking daily or just about daily. So that means up to 14 drinks in a week, but no more than 3 on any given occasion. And if you can follow those guidelines, what it's going to do is, it won't be no risk. It's called low risk guidelines, right? But it's going to minimize some of the risks that we see in individuals that, partake in binge drinking regularly, whether those are physical, mental health, the cost associated with heavy drinking. The reality is that, Ohio currently ranks 2nd in binge drinking in the country.
Kidding me.
The average binge drinker in Ohio drinks 764 drinks a year. Now think about the cost of a drink and what that costs. So it's really just about, looking at it and trying to address it from a variety of different ways.
Yeah. Are the alcohol manufacturers, are they getting on board with this as well as far as sponsoring some of these ideas of, like you see the gambling, they're behind, if you have a gambling problem, who's promoting that? The gambling places, which I think is a good idea. So have you approached or thought of approaching?
Well, like I said, so we have gone ahead and we have some coasters, some infographics, some materials, and locally we have started to distribute those. So right here in Lebanon, I won't put them on the spot and mention all of them, but some of the more well-known establishments and things we've distributed that information to.
Nice.
Talking about breweries, we have distributed to some of those. On a bigger scale, right now what we're seeing is still that just basic drink responsibly message. I would love to be able to get them to partner with us and do something like that and really expand on that message. I know the Tylenol example was silly, but it's true. You would expect some action steps and what that means. More than anything, I really think that starts with just spreading awareness and education about this kind of campaign and this initiative. So what we're doing is, I can tell you we've introduced it at the City Council here in Lebanon.
Nice.
I'm introducing it to the Chamber next week, some local coalitions, some talking events like this. It really just begins with spreading awareness and getting that critical mass. That way we can go to them and say, hey, this is something that, we really think would be beneficial for Lebanon. And because we're on the Lebanon show, I'll mention that, Lebanon actually is a little bit, there's an increase in binge drinking actually in Lebanon.
Are we number 1 in Ohio at something?
We are number 1.
Not that would be good.
No,
That would not be good.
I will say, so Lebanon is actually number 1 in all of Warren and Clinton County in binge drinking. It's about 40% higher than the surrounding
Because
areas.
we're honest and those other people are lying about their...
Well, and it goes to the misconceptions. It goes to the misconceptions that people have. So people, when they think about binge drinking, they think individuals down on their luck and struggling, and there's a real perception they have of individuals. But the reality is that it's actually middle income, middle class individuals. It's a real behavior that requires a means. And it doesn't mean that we're bad at Lebanon. I grew up in I love Lebanon, man, and Lebanon's great. But it's just that
number 1 in Warren County.
It's that societal perception, though, I think, of just the backyard barbecues and those sorts of things. And it's not always the negative effects today or tomorrow. It's that what happens when you carry out that behavior for 15 years and the long-term health effects that we want to address.
Okay. Julie, is there a difference with men versus women? Who has more of a concern or problem?
Well, historically, it's always been men that usually have the problem. But now, women ages 19 to 25 actually have increased about 40%. Maybe it's a little bit more than 40% since like 2015. So that age group is specifically on the rise of binge drinking more. whether it's because it's college age or because men and women can do the same thing and be more equal. So women say, I can drink just as much as men, which is not necessarily true, because with body composition and just physical and changes and differences between men and women, women don't, what's the word I'm looking for?
Metabolize.
Yeah, they don't metabolize the alcohol as fast as men do.
Yeah.
So they tend to get drunker faster.
Culturally, too, my wife is half Japanese, and my sister-in-law, Linda, digestive-wise, it's just harder, okay? So I guess some people need to watch it a little bit closer. Now, you have a lunch and learn coming up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how is that going to be virtual, and who's the guest speaker on that?
Yeah. So our lunch and learns that we've started over the last few months, they've all been virtual. Again, just being safe with COVID and those sorts of things. Julia, if you can, I think it's on the 19th.
Yes.
Yep.
It's on a Tuesday.
I got the 20th.
Okay,
There
then
you
it's the
go.
20th.
Yeah,
If it's on a
that's
Tuesday,
Yeah.
it's the third Tuesday of every month. It's a 30-minute webinar, so super short, super sweet.
Yeah.
Each month it depends on what topic is who's talking. This month it's actually our supervisor, Barbara, who is talking, and she'll go more into low-risk drinking and more detail.
Now that's totally virtual. It's not in
Yes,
person.
totally virtual.
Okay.
On the flyer, it's email me to sign up, and we'll send out the Zoom invite.
And who can attend, and is there a
Anyone,
cost?
no cost, and
Okay.
anyone in the community can attend.
Well, fantastic. And
Yeah.
How do we connect with the Talbert House if we feel that we have a need?
You can reach out to any of us at our emails or Google Talbert House and the information. Talbert House, Warner, Clinton counties, and it will pop up. That's the easiest way. I don't know the actual Instagram or Facebook.
We also have our
handles.
in-person locations right here in
Yes.
Lebanon as well, obviously.
And
So-
where is that?
So 204 Cook Road.
Okay.
I always say if you're a Lebanon resident, it's the big fun hill to go sledding on.
Yeah, that's the best.
We're happy that we're out of the snow at this point,
Yeah.
but there was definitely a lot of visitors there.
Okay.
And then we have our 761 Columbus Avenue location right across from the new-ish UDF. To me, it'll always be the old UDF back on the other side of Lebanon, but
Okay.
right there.
And what other lunch and learns do you have coming up besides that?
The next month would be May, and each month is a different topic.
Yeah.
I don't remember every topic at the moment,
Yeah.
but it's the third Tuesday of every month for the next year is what we have planned out.
I think the next one might be medication safety,
Yes.
if I remember correctly off the top of my mind.
Okay.
I will also go ahead and plug that towards the end of this month, we are going to be doing up at the Walmart and some other locations here in Warren County some medication safety take-back day through the DEA. Really, it's just a safe disposal option. So if anyone's opening up their cabinets and they're seeing, man, I got a lot of medication in here that we're not currently using, please don't flush that down your toilet. We have a safe disposal option that's being held twice a year right here locally at the Walmart. So
Health issues with drinking. Obviously, if you drink too much, it's going to have an ill effect on your liver. It can affect your digestion because it affects the acidity of your gut. But what other things, health-wise, are a concern for?
Well, and it's really interesting. I mean, there's a wide variety of them, most of which that people really don't think about, right? So continued binge drinking on higher levels can eventually, honestly, increase chances of cancer in a variety of ways. Obviously, there's potential weight gain, mental issues that can go along with substance use disorders, such as alcohol. Above and beyond that, one of the big ones we always talk about is also relationship damage, right? There's a real correlation there to binge drinking and strain on relationships, whether that's marital or a boyfriend or girlfriend or just father and son, whatever the relationship may be. And all of that's before we really get into the real financial cost of it, right? The first DUI someone gets, for instance, in Ohio, on average costs about $10,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. There's other studies showing that binge drinking in Ohio and specifically in Warren County could be costing us as much as $20 million a year, and all these hidden costs from lost workplace productivity because you come in, you're hangover the next day, so you're just not as productive. to DUI costs, legal fees, court fees, clinical fees if you need follow-up. So there's a real cost that's kind of hidden there that we want to address long term, both from the health side of things as well as for everyone.
I think people can get lulled into things and not realize that the damage and the danger. How do you bridge into a conversation with a friend on that, as far as pointing out, man, you might have a problem, and how do you do it in a loving way that it doesn't get them upset, and then maybe steer them toward, there's this place in town, the Talbert House. Maybe we can go. Do they have people to talk to there? Do you have counselors available as well?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
1 in 4 here in Warren County substance use disorders still attributes alcohol as the primary substance use.
Okay.
So we definitely have those individuals available. And there's a variety of ways to broach that subject with one of your loved ones. I will go ahead and plug us. Another free training we do, if anyone's ever interested, we call empathic listening.
Yeah.
And it really teaches people how to encourage change, mostly through listening. It's amazing how impactful you can be when you listen more than you speak. Sometimes when people really need something, it's not about going in and telling them what to do. It's about listening and connecting with them, and more helping them come up with their own choices.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's good. Well, I appreciate this is an important topic. Thanks for making us aware of this and what you guys are doing. Is there anything else we need to cover before we head out?
any big plugs you want to put out there or anything, Julia?
Not that I know of.
No,
And Julia, welcome. Have you been with the Talbert House long?
I started it at the end of August.
Okay,
So.
well, fantastic.
Yeah.
Guys, I appreciate you. Thanks for being back. Stay tuned. We'll be back to talk about a new health initiative brought to you by the City of Lebanon right after this break.
Break your fast food habit at Kelly's Meats and Deli at 1001 West Main Street in Lebanon. Stop in for a quick lunch featuring made-to-order sandwiches, tasty sides, and mouth-watering daily specials. For dinner, Kelly's offers fresh-cut steaks, chops, and seafood, plus a variety of prepared dishes that only need to be reheated. You'll also find a large selection of high-quality wine and beer that can make any meal a special event. Kelly's Meats and Deli, open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, now open for dinner Saturdays 6 to 9 p.m. And remember, we cater too.
When it comes to healthcare, the most common question I get is, are you on our insurance? Well, we're probably not because we don't accept insurance, but our prices are extremely fair and you're going to get great care. So if your plan is to get great care, we are your plan. We offer chiropractic, fitness programs, massage, and clinical nutrition. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, call our office, schedule for a free consultation so we can discuss any question you have and get you well.
Call now to schedule your free initial consultation.
Since 1954, Hardee's Interiors has been providing quality furnishings for homes in and around Lebanon, Ohio. Today, you'll still find quality antique and vintage furniture along with new made-in-America furniture of all styles. At Hardee's, you can create a mix of furniture and accessories that truly reflects your personality, all made to last a lifetime. Designers are welcome and so are you. Hardee's Interiors at 208.5 Wright Avenue or online at hardeesinteriors.com.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Welcome back to the City Show. Over the past 5 years or so, the City of Lebanon's been working to expand their bike and walking trails along with some other outdoor fitness activities. This year, the city's introducing a wellness initiative designed to get you to take advantage of these amenities. I'm joined by Rebecca Nelson, one of our newest city employees, and Brianna Higgins, a licensed dietitian who works for the Warren County Health Department. And you guys and a bunch of other folks have put together resources and a series of events to help you live a healthier life. The program is called Together We Thrive. Great name. And you're here to talk about it. Welcome to the City Show, ladies.
Thank you.
Rebecca, first of all, tell us a little bit about you and How did you come to work for the city of Lebanon?
Yeah. So I actually grew up just like a town over, so I always came to Lebanon as a child for all the festivals and events. But I would say my journey into local government actually started when I was up at Ohio State.
Okay.
I was studying communications up there, and I actually had the opportunity to intern with the city of Dublin. So it was a wonderful experience, and then when I graduated, I came back here, worked in the private sector a little bit, but I was still trying to find something where I felt like my work was giving back to the community. So after about 3 years in the private sector, this position opened up, and here I am.
Yeah, what a great town we have.
Yeah.
Now, compared to all the other cities you've worked for, what's the best city
Obviously,
that you've ever
yes.
worked for?
I would say Lebanon is. I have enjoyed my 2 months here so far, so it's been great.
That was a safe answer.
I know.
You know, that was channeled into my earpiece from
Yes, my boss is watching.
somebody I won't mention. So what's your role with the city?
Yeah, I am an admin assistant, but I focus on external communications such as marketing and social media, and I also do the event coordination.
Wow. And Brianna, you've made a couple appearances on our Feeling Good program. What's your role at the Warren County Health Department?
So I am their registered dietitian. I do a lot of work with our prenatal clinic, so a lot of pregnant moms, but I also work in our child health, adult health. I do specialize in weight loss, so also getting out in the communities too. I've been doing some presentations through the city and to various schools in the county as well. It's been a really great position to have. I've been there for about a year, and I've really been able to make it what I want.
Yeah, nice.
And so that's been really neat to make that impact.
It looks like you walk the walk. Yeah.
I try.
You look like you're really fit, and you must have a passion that brought you into this. What brought you into choosing that as a field?
Well, I think most of you know my dad. You know, he was a coach, and
Yeah.
I really my health classes made a huge impact and made me really interested in nutrition. I grew up cheering, so I always was into exercise, and I really got into group exercise. So that was actually something I studied in school. I studied exercise science in addition to nutrition. So I do have a background in personal training.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. You can't choose one or the other. Active lifestyle goes with nutrition and vice versa.
Yeah. Is your dad Matt?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Tell him I said hi.
I will.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I will.
I didn't put that together. So why is the city creating this health initiative, ladies?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So it was really important to us to build a vibrant community in Lebanon, and part of that is just building a healthy lifestyle. We have all of these resources available to all of our citizens. One of them sitting right next to me. She has been a tremendous help. All of our parks, we just wanted one cohesive program that our residents could find all of the information in one spot, and just increasing the quality of life for our citizens.
That's huge. That's so important too. So what's going to be included in the program?
Yeah, so it's going to focus on physical fitness, but also mental health, nutrition, stress management, sleep routines. It's kind of ever-changing. We have a lot to cover in health and wellness. That landscape is always changing. So new things are going to come about as the program goes on.
So she's giving you the content, and you're boosting it out there. So,
yeah. I am not the local expert. I am just the person that disseminates the information.
So are you doing podcasts, or how are you getting this stuff out to folks?
Yeah, most of the information is going to be blogs on our website, but the best place to find all of the information would be following us on Facebook and Instagram.
And how long has this been going on so far? Is it just starting?
Yeah, we rolled it out at the beginning of March.
Okay. Wow. It's got that new program smell to it and everything.
Yes.
Huh? Give me an idea of some of the local experts that we're going to see on the show.
Yeah, so obviously Brianna has been a wonderful resource. We've partnered with all of the fitness centers like the YMCA and Green Lotus Studio.
Okay.
We are also partnering with the local restaurants, and we're trying to focus on like sustainable living as well, so a lot of farm to table with the restaurants.
Nice, yeah, that's organic type food. That's critical. And you also feature a number of events. Can you tell me something about the events that are coming up?
Yes, one of them actually just kicked off today. It's the Lebanon Parks Wellness Challenge. That's going to run through September 11th for the Healthy Living Market. This program, underneath the Together We Thrive umbrella, it includes 13 activities that people can go out to the parks and do. It's for all fitness levels. And based on the number of activities that you complete, you can win some swag items.
So do they have like little stations at the park, like little fitness stations?
Not essentially. I know Harmon Park has the fitness pad, and
Yeah.
we're getting a Rogue rig that's going to be placed out there. So a lot of the fitness in the parks this summer are going to be hosted at the Harmon Fitness Pad. But it's mainly just like exploring the trails, and having a picnic in the park is one of the activities. So really it's open to anybody.
Cool. Now, Rogue Rig.
Yeah.
Can you explain what Rogue Rig is?
So Rogue is a fitness brand.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a pull up and like that type of rig.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You'll see it when it goes up there.
And are you going to be available to show people how to use this stuff properly? Because otherwise people might take their wet laundry out there and hang their laundry and be like, oh, this is kind of neat.
This sounds really cool. I'm gonna have to check it out.
The Rogue Rig.
Yeah.
The Rogue
Get
rig.
me one of
I'm
those.
like, I want to
I
come
want
to
a
this.
Rogue Rig.
Yeah, it's going to be like trainers from the Y and Messer
Yeah.
Fit that are going to be out there this summer.
Well, fantastic. What part of the program is going to be available online?
All of the blogs and resources are going to be available
Okay.
online. We're hoping to have some like online cooking classes with Brianna.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we're hoping a lot of stuff's going to be in person, just getting the community together again.
So in your opinion, if someone's fitness program, if someone's really working out, do they really have to have a good diet too? How significant is that really?
Absolutely. So I'd say from a percentage basis, you're talking about 80%
Yeah.
of that fitness is going to be based on nutrition. Only 20% is the work you're actually putting in at the gym or on the pavement or wherever that is. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
So how you fuel your body is going to impact how you perform.
Yeah.
How you fuel is going to impact how you recover. It's going to impact your energy levels throughout the day. Again, it's a cycle.
Yeah, you're really a change person too. You're introducing change ideas. Is that difficult as you talk to people to get them to change? Is there one area that you might suggest to them as far as, because people can be overwhelmed. So if there's one thing that you can impart to somebody today to work on, what little tip would you give somebody?
Absolutely. I would say one of the most common things I'll find are soda drinkers.
Oh my.
And especially if you're doing regular soda, one of those containers probably has about 200 calories in it. So when you're talking, if you have a specific goal to lose weight, that would be if you wanted to lose a pound a week, you would need to be at a 500 calorie deficit for a full 7 days.
Yeah.
So I say if you can cut out 2 cans of soda in a day, you have already met or exceeded that goal.
That's awesome.
So that's a very common one. Replace soda with water.
Yeah. So many things I think in our society are disguised to look healthy, like the sports drinks.
Yes.
And these kids are just, and they're so deceptive. It's like a serving size, and in one of those bottles there's 2 serving size, so people are trained to look at how many calories in there, and they don't realize, well, it's twice as much. It's so deceptive,
I hope my fiance watches this. Maybe he'll
Yeah.
listen to you better than he'll listen to me.
Sport drink guy?
Oh, ex-football player who still thinks he plays football.
Yeah. Different seasons in life.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
yes.
interesting. So what do you think of this citywide health initiative when you first heard about it?
I was extremely enthused about it, and hearing more about it, I am even more so. It sounds like you have a very holistic approach. So we're not only focusing on nutrition, we're not only focusing on the exercise and the physical part, but we're also focusing on mental and emotional health, which I think is extremely important right now with COVID and the isolation that we've been experiencing. I think mental health has been quite a bit of a taboo in the past, and it's something that's being spoken more now, and I hope that people realize that they aren't alone and that there are resources they can turn to.
I remember listening to Dr. Fauci as
Yes.
he was interviewed early on, and they said, I think somebody said, is Santa Claus going to be okay? And Fauci's fallback on that was, Santa Claus is going to be fine because he has a stronger immune system. Nobody followed up with, how do you get a stronger immune system? And exercise and good nutrition. If you're concerned about COVID, tune in to Brianna's tips, because she's going to talk about how to be healthy.
Absolutely.
And we've lost touch with that. And don't get me wrong, I think the vaccine's great, but we still need to look at maintaining a healthy and strong host so you can overcome that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't necessarily say there are foods that are going to boost your immune system, but there are foods and lifestyle habits that can allow your body systems to function optimally.
Yeah.
And we got to remember one of the greatest risk factors for mortality of this disease is obesity,
Yeah.
is diabetes.
Yeah.
And those can be addressed through diet and nutrition.
Immune compromising disorders, absolutely. So what kind of topics are you going to be covering as you roll out this the blog and the other stuff?
So I actually did post a blog a few weeks ago. So if you remind me of the site.
It's just our main website, so
Okay.
just Lebanonohio.org.
Okay. Now is that the YouTube? So how do you get into the YouTube that you're doing presentations?
Okay, yeah, I can get into that too. So as far, Lebanonohio.gov is where you would go for my blog, and that is going to address health washed foods. So organic versus natural, what do I look for on labels as far as added sugars, portion sizes. It covers a wide variety of different topics. Nutrition Mythbusters was what I gave a presentation regarding with the employees of Lebanon yesterday.
Yeah.
So I had 10 basic myths that I get a lot of questions about, and I addressed all of those and kind of an opinion from a dietitian standpoint, but also from a long-term research-based standpoint. There's tons of research being produced every day, but we have to keep in mind the sample size and the long-term impact of those studies. As far as the YouTube channel goes, you would go to warrenchd.com to their nutrition tab, and there are all of my posts there. And then I hope they share my email as well. I'm always free to email anybody if they have specific questions. I do meet with people on a one-on-one basis, and I'm hoping I can start up my nutrition and weight management class here soon. Let's keep the COVID numbers going down.
You seem like a people person. That's got to be hard for you to be disconnected with the one-on-one contact.
Yes, it does stink, but I've been launching some Zoom cooking events as well, so I'm still allowed to see the faces and offer that hands-on experience. They're cooking alongside me over that screen, so I can talk until the cows come home about nutrition advice, but until the advice is put into practice, nothing's going to change. So I think those Zoom events are really turning that around.
So how do we get connected to the Together We Thrive?
Yes, social media is the best place to go. So our Facebook and Instagram. All of that links back to the website, which hosts all the information, but that's where you're going to get the timely responses and you can engage with us.
Now, you guys are developing this program as it goes. There's nothing carved in stone. So are you adding more and more stuff, and what kind of things are coming down the road?
Yeah, we're definitely adding more events as time goes on and as we see where COVID's going, and also just Brianna's topics are going to change over time. We also have a few different topics each month. So in April, this month, we are doing some national pet awareness and how that plays into your mental health.
Nice, yeah.
So, yeah.
And what about the initiatives for the participants of the Thrive program? What kind of prizes do they get?
My prizes are being delivered
them?
daily. So we have water bottles, buffs. We also have some prizes for kids like bubbles, fidget spinners. We also have bike bells for kids, so that's exciting. But we're going to keep adding prizes as we go.
Nice. Prizes work. You got to get them coming in. What do you hope to happen with the Together We Thrive program? What's your goal with that?
Yeah, we hope to just carry it on throughout the year, and as the years go by, just continuing to develop it and just building a community. Since we had to be separated for so long, we thought this would be a great way to bring everybody back together.
Well, I think anything that you guys can do to get people eating better and exercising well, I mean, that's so important. So thanks for what you're doing. Any closing comments or tips for folks? There's no silver bullet out there. Okay.
So to me, it's very simple, but sometimes I think simple is hard. Healthy weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week. It's nothing quick. It's nothing, it's not going to come off quickly. Focusing on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins on a daily basis. 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you're eating like that, 20% of the time you're indulging. If you can give yourself a solid B on your nutrition on a weekly basis, you should be meeting and exceeding your goals and living a pretty healthy life.
Fantastic. Well, ladies, thanks. Nice to have somebody working with you.
Yes.
Okay, and it seems like you guys are really a good complement for our city. So make sure you tune in. We'll be back after this short break to talk about a couple of upcoming art shows at ArtScape Lebanon. Don't go away.
The vaping industry spends millions marketing their products to young people. They think they can fool you with the flavors and packaging, but they don't tell you about the toxic and addictive chemicals inside. To learn more, visit sapcwarrencounty.org.
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove.
You told me not to do drugs.
You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun?
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to the City Show. As you travel toward Mason on Route 42, you may have noticed the ArtScape Lebanon sign on the side of the road and wondered, what goes on there? This is a new home for a budding and established artists in our community. There you'll find studio space, several arts businesses, and a place where anyone from our community can stretch their artistic talent. Well, that's an incubator is spawning, and a couple of art shows in the next couple of months, and they're looking for folks to put their art on display. Here to tell us about that are Emily Pennekamp and Kristi Hayslett-Jones. Welcome to the City Show, ladies.
Thank you.
Now this thing just came together in the middle of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You are either out of your mind or just amazing, courageous ladies. How did this idea come to fruition?
Well, we were formerly known as the Arts Council of Lebanon, so we are just trying to rebuild.
Yeah.
And so we decided no better time than the present, and the community needs us, and we just kind of picked up where we left off and changed our name and got a new space, and happened to be during the pandemic, but we're very passionate about what we do, and we felt very called that the community needed something like this, and it's been great.
Just before we go, as you're going out 42, okay,
Yes.
it's right before Creech's,
Right.
and it's kind of behind the
Lush Salon.
Lush Salon.
Yes.
Okay, so that way you know where it is, and you got to check this out.
Yeah.
And you have space for other artists to come in. And
Yes, we do. We have actually six spaces total, and 3 available. Going to be coming towards the end of April.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What's the mission of your organization?
Our mission is to empower arts in the community
Yeah.
of Lebanon.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Seems like we have a very artistic
We do.
community. Yeah.
I think we're a very talented community. So.
Now, Kristi, are you an artist too, or do you have a place rented there? Are you selling your art as well, or?
I am an artist. My husband and I, we have a screen printing business, so we design.
Okay. And did you guys come together and form this whole idea, or what's your history together?
We just met each other on the board
Okay.
this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she was a new addition and fantastic addition, her and her husband. So we're excited.
Now this last year's been kind of challenging. What have you been able to do in the way of arts programming over the last year?
Yeah, so we obtained our building in July, and we were actually able to have classes right away outside, safely following protocol, social distancing, masking. So we were able to do that. And then when it turned cold, we moved inside. We were doing some renovations in our building and weren't able to use the building until October, November, and then we moved inside, and our space is so large that we're able to spread apart, and we would keep our class numbers low. So only 9 students are allowed to fill a class, with the teacher being 10, and so we were able to just kind of carry on, and those that wanted to sign up, signed up. And
so is there a certain age group that comes into your program, or is it really diverse?
We try to keep it all ages. We try to keep every quarter we like to offer little kids all the way up to adults, and try to really hit all of those marks with the ages.
And what plans do you have for programming this year?
We're just going to continue on. We've got wonderful teachers teaching our classes, all of which are extremely talented in their craft, and most of them are actual art educators, so that's fantastic. And we're just going to continue offering our programming. If you want to take a particular class, you can email us through our website and just give us suggestions. We're always open to suggestions. Somebody said, oh, hey, I want to learn knitting, so we're going to have a knitting class. And just kind of keep growing from there. But
I bet the challenge with parents now with this COVID thing, they must just love the idea if we have a place to take our kids. Have you had a lot of parents just really excited?
Yeah, they've been very grateful. Yeah, I think.
Now you also have an art show planned, and that's called Art and Color.
Yes.
And you're looking for artists.
Yes.
Okay, who are you looking for?
Well, we're looking, Art and Color is going to be a series.
Yeah.
And the goal of the art show or the series, we just want to empower artists, be inclusive, and highlight artists that aren't typically seen in Lebanon. So the first in the series, we're going to highlight African American artists.
Okay. And
any skill level, and just with a connection to Lebanon. They don't have to necessarily live in Lebanon, but just a connection to Lebanon.
And does the art have to fit into the theme, and or can it be whatever the artist is into?
Any kind of art. I mean, visual, dance, music, photography, any kind of art.
And how close are you to having all the spots filled for that? Do you have a 50% filled, and are you excited about, or what is the amount now?
Well, we really don't have a goal. Just we do have a deadline. The artists have to submit their entries by May 1st, and they can be submitted at our website, which is artscapelebanon.org.
Okay, so that's how they get their art into the show. Contact you and.
Yes.
Now, I might consider myself artistic, but you wouldn't want to put any of my stuff in your show, and you'd want to say, well, you know, have you ever had somebody come to you and they think they're really talented, and you have to gently put them down or encourage them to take a class? Is it kind of awkward sometimes?
I don't think we're going to turn anybody away. I mean,
you're so sweet.
Any skill level.
Yeah. So I can bring my stick man, because I got stick man and hang man, and you'll have a special corner for me out by the dumpster. Okay, I got it.
We do want to make sure, I mean, because it is open to families and all viewers, so we do want to make sure that all the art is appropriate for families. So.
Yeah, that's good. When is the art show?
Well, we're going to have a preview night for the artists and their families, and also our members, and that's going to be on Friday, June 18th.
Okay.
And then we're going to have a show open to the public on that Saturday, which is June 10th, and that's June 19th.
Nice, nice. So who can attend? And do you need tickets to get in? And
well, Friday night will be invitation only, but Saturday it is open to the public. And we may have like an RSVP. I mean, just because of COVID, but I mean, we're not going to have like a limit. So I mean, the more the merrier, because we're going to have a lot of events outside. A lot of it is going to be outside.
Now you guys have a show coming up in May, featuring some of your your in-house artists. Can you tell me about them and the art that we'll be able to see in May?
Yeah, so we're actually going to have our official grand opening May 8th, and that's actually, we're partnering with Orgonia Soapworks and their Spring Fest that they have every year. They weren't able to have it last year due to COVID, but so we're excited to bring, help partner, bring it better than ever this year. And so we're going to have board members and the artists that are in-house having a show that day. We're going to have tons of demonstrations, glass blowers, somebody screen printing on site. And then Orgonia Soapworks is going to be hosting the artists and craft vendors on her property. And then we're going to have food trucks and things like that around the side, connecting Artscape with that.
That's exciting. And I imagine that's going to be open to the public as well.
Yes.
How can we follow up with Artscapes of Lebanon and maybe sign up for a class or two?
Yeah, so I know Kristi mentioned our website. It's artscapelebanon.org, and there you'll find all of our opportunities to become members. And actually, just recently we partnered with, we have reciprocity with Harmon Museum, so that's fantastic. So if you're a member of Artscape Lebanon, then you automatically are a member of the Harmon Museum.
So maybe crossing over and displaying some of the work there. And
yes, we have future plans to work with them on a show, collaborating on a show together.
So you say the word art, and people think of one thing, and it's such a big, broad category. You mentioned the glass blowing. You mentioned the dance. What other things that might just blow people's mind and surprise them that you guys are going to show and display? Any other?
Well, I mean, I think the whole goal of Artscape was to bring awareness that, cooking is an art, gardening is an art. So we just kind of want to broaden people's knowledge of what art is. And you probably do have art talent, and you just don't think of it like that because it's not, a formal oil painting in a museum. Like, yes, there's a place for that, but also, being creative and just, I don't know, art is healing, and if that works for you, and you draw stick drawings, and
thank you,
that's your thing, that's fantastic.
So unjudgmental of me, thank you. It's funny. I think everybody gets involved in art when we're children, and then it's taken away from us along with recess. And I think that's sad, because it is a way to express, and probably a way for mental health outlets too. And with the pandemic, people going through this stuff, I think the people that are shut in, they should come out and check your place out, and maybe get equipped to encourage your kids more in that area, because I think we need more of that as far as the direction for our kids. Is that one of your hopes too, as far as your mission, to get people excited
Well, and I think
again?
as you get older, you have that negative self-talk about, this isn't good enough, and when you're a child, you're kind of just like, I don't know, just open to anything, and you don't have that voice inside. So, it's kind of relearning how to be open and non-critical of yourself, and I totally agree.
So you got a big refrigerator for everybody to come and plaster their stuff, and you're going to leave it on display, and that sounds like a winner for me. So tell me again, how can artists who are interested in having a showing at Art and Color, how do they get you to consider their work?
Yeah, so we have a tab on our website, contact us, and we are actually in the middle of building our gallery. We had a fabulous donation. Kent Savage, he donated a lot of money to us to create this gallery in honor of his wife who passed away of cancer. And he works closely with Arts Wave, and it's been a real honor to meet him and to have him see our vision and to support us. So that is actually obviously going to be ready in May, but we're still under construction at the moment. But we're hoping then after that's done, just to kind of continue to highlight artists every month. So
Man, you guys are courageous. I mean, you came through this pandemic and you opened a place, and now you're living your dream. Check out this Field of Dreams of art. A lovely addition to our community. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers before we go?
We just encourage you to become a member, and we have different levels of membership, artist, family. It's very affordable. That gets you 10% off classes and merchandise, so I think that's great, and also the reciprocity with Harmon. And then we do have different levels of donation, and we're always looking for donations, and that's what keeps our programming going. Obviously, we're a nonprofit, so we just turn that money back into fabulous classes, paying our teachers, and
Well, thanks. Thanks for being on the show today. We'll be back with a look at how the King's powder plant came to be right after this break.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for 75 years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where'd the cats go on vacation? New York.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Both my legs were amputated due to an IED. It's when you start to try to get back into an everyday life. I absolutely felt like I lost some of my purpose. There must be something more. When DAV came into my life, they gave me a new mission. I could still be a productive member of society, could still support a family.
The DAV gave him that sense of structure and purpose again to get his life back together.
Visit DAV.org to learn more about our mission.
Unless you visit the Warren County Administrative Building on a regular basis, you might not be aware that in the basement they have the Archives and Records Department, and they create displays highlighting historically significant places in Warren County. The current display is a look into the history of Kings Mills powder plant and cartridge factory that was put on the map several years ago. If you like that history, you'll want to take a closer look at this display.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Baker. I'm the Deputy Archivist with Warren County Record Center and Archives. Today we are featuring our exhibit, Exploding a Forgotten Past into the Future, Kings Mills. We featured the City of Kings Mills and the Kings Mills Powder Company and Peter's Cartridge Factory in this most recent exhibit. We are located in the basement of the Administration Building, and this exhibit is on until summer of 2023. Some of the features of the exhibit: we did a comprehensive timeline of the 2 factories that existed in Kings Mills on the top shelf. And then we also included information about the town and how it was created and some of the features that were available to the employees and visitors of Kings Mills. And then on the bottom shelf, we highlighted some of the family members that helped to create the factories and the cartridge company. One of the most familiar people that we encountered is Ahima's King. He is the person who built the King Mansion that a lot of people are familiar with today. He was one of the original founders of the King Powder Company. One of the stories that we uncovered about the King family during our research, while we spoke to Karen Densmore, she's a local historian, she pointed out that once Haymas King, who was the person who built the King Mansion, passed away, they had a widow's walk on top of the King Mansion, and it was said that his wife Amanda could be up on the widow's walk and see his tomb that was in Deerfield Township. And then the other person is Gershom Peters. He was the person who patented most of the technology for the Peters Cartridge Company, which existed alongside of the King's Powder Company. Some of the really cool things that we found while researching the exhibit, in our records here at the archives, we were able to uncover about 43 people who died during the explosions. And those dates range from the earliest and the worst of those explosions in 1890, where 9 people, employees and members of the town, were killed due to the explosion. And then those go all the way up to the 1950s. But there were, we have those coroner's inquests here at the archives. While we were researching, we found a lot of information where women, who are not always the most prominent focus of factories, in the Western Star, every time we researched King's Mills or Peters Cartridge Factory, we would find advertisements where they were looking for women for work. So that was another interesting aspect of King's Mills that we hadn't considered prior to our research. Another one of the stories that we uncovered was the importance of education in King's Mills. So Haymas took a lot of pride in creating his own school district so that his employees' children could attend school. So one of the requirements that Haymas King had for his teachers was that he wanted them to have a college education, as opposed to the high school education that was required of teachers of the time. So they had their own school district that grew and still exists today. While we were doing our research last summer, we were able to take a sneak peek into the buildings that still exist for Peters Cartridge Factory. They were able to repurpose this into a brewery and restaurant, and then also a lot of the buildings now are apartments available to the public. They did a lot of work on the site because if you go through the past history, the Environmental Protection Agency did a lot of work to clean up the site so that it could be livable for people. So the fact that it's now open to the public is really cool. And then we did get a tour of the inside. So if you have a chance, it's really neat to look at. So that's a look at exploding a small town into a booming society, King's Mills. You can view these online via our WordPress blog, and then also our Facebook page. So if you just search the Warren County Record Center and Archives, we have uploaded all of the images of the exhibit. So here at the Warren County Record Center and Archives, we are open to the public by appointment. You can come in and do research for genealogy. We've helped people with house histories. We also have a lot of the detailed history of the county buildings. So we are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30.
Well, that's our show for this week. Thanks for watching. Be sure to keep an eye out for the city's Facebook page for more information on Together We Thrive and everything else that is happening in Lebanon this spring. Goodbye. Enjoy the spring. Winter's over. Get out there and safely enjoy it.